Now at 6 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. A Palestinian American who was stabbed at an Austin rally is speaking out for the first time. And Governor Greg Abbott visits Victoria this morning, and Jeff Bouknight receives his endorsement. Plus, in Houston, an attorney will spend time in jail after pleading guilty to drugging his pregnant wife.
We had quite a bit of cloud cover and, of course, a lot of gusty wind for today. A few sprinkles are possible, but the main event is still out to the west. In fact, there's another one out to the farther west than that. Both of them will give us a shot at some rainfall this weekend. I'll have that forecast coming up in just a moment.
And we have another commit, this one out of Goliad. You're going to hear from him in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker. Karina Garcia has the night off. The man convicted of robbing a Victoria bank last year will be sentenced to federal prison later this month. Derek Taylor was convicted on 2 of bank robbery. Taylor was found guilty of robbing Prosperity Bank at 7001 Northeast Zach Lentz Parkway on February 2nd, 2023. Taylor's sentencing will be before Judge Nelva Gonzalez Ramos February 26th at the Martin Luther King Jr. Federal Building in Victoria. Wednesday night, Wharton police arrested Waynard Austin on 7 felony warrants shortly after Austin escaped from custody in handcuffs. Austin remains at large, last seen wearing a black hoodie, blue jeans, and white shoes. If you see him, contact 911. Wharton police say Austin is not a threat to public safety. A 19-year-old suspect was taken into custody by Victoria County Sheriff's deputies. Devin Morales is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He is in the Victoria County Jail in lieu of $40,000 bond. Governor Greg Abbott was in Victoria today to support Jeff Bouknight for the District 30 House seat. 25 News Now weekend anchor Adam Seibel was there and has more. Adam?
Yeah, Don, around 150 people showed up to attend the event today, all rallying to support Jeff Bouknight's bid for the District 30 House seat.
I know in my heart will work with me, support me, fund me, and have my back when it comes to doing what you want to have done, and that is Jeff Bouknight will fight for you to secure our border.
Jeff Bouknight picked up the endorsement of Governor Greg Abbott, fueling Bouknight's campaign for the District 30 House seat. The event took place Thursday at the Victoria College Emerging Technology Complex. Governor Abbott says he supports the former mayor of Victoria and believes he will fight alongside him in Austin on 3 main issues: securing the border, cutting property taxes, and supporting school choice.
Let me tell you what Jeff and I are going to do. Jeff and I are going to go work together in Austin, Texas for you, and we are going to build a conservative bulwark where we protect your freedoms and the opportunity that's known only in the Lone Star State.
Bouknight is also endorsed by District 30 State Representative Jeannie Morrison. She's on her 13th term in the legislature. Morrison says Bouknight helped Victoria through Hurricane Harvey, during which time he was on the city council.
The city councilman that stepped up to the plate was Jeff Bouknight, and we worked with the governor's office with him to make sure that we got what we needed.
Goliad County Sheriff Roy Boyd also showed his support for Bouknight. He says Bouknight has shown his willingness to fight to secure the border.
Jeff Bouknight is the only candidate for House District 30 that I know that I can count on.
Bouknight highlighted he would continue to fight for what he called South Texas conservative values. He says he would work with Governor Abbott to fund Operation Lone Star and support school choice.
Continue in Austin fighting against this silly, unbelievable woke agenda. I look forward to January when I get sworn in. Yeah. Being able to be beside this phenomenal, I've said it before, warrior for Texas.
Bouknight will face off against 3 opponents in the March 5th primary. Early voting begins February 20th, ending on March 1st. Reporting in Victoria, Adam Seibel, KAVU TV 25 News Now.
Adam, thank you. Also in the race for District 30 are Brett Baldwin, Vanessa Hicks Calloway, and A.J. Louderback. The March 5th primary is right around the corner. Early voting starts February 20th. Also in the upcoming March 5th election is the race for Victoria County Sheriff. Incumbent Sheriff Justin Marr is once again on the ballot for a second term. Marr says he plans to keep the promises made many years ago. Marr says he will continue to build trust between the Sheriff's Office and the community.
promises made, promises kept. I'm here for you. Victoria is my home. I've been with this sheriff's office for almost 26 years. This is my home. This community is my home, and I'm here to protect it.
Also running for the Victoria County Sheriff's position in the Republican primary is Melissa Rondon Wasachek. She has 28 years experience in law enforcement. Early voting begins on February 20th and ends on March 1st, the election day, Tuesday, March 5th. The National Weather Service has these river flood warnings posted for the crossroads. A river flood warning for Victoria and Calhoun counties is in effect until Friday morning for the Guadalupe River near Bloomington. At 8 o'clock a.m. today, the river was at 22.7 feet. Flood stage is 20 feet. Now let's take a first look at your forecast. Here's First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Pettis. Mac, started out kind of cloudy today, but it turned out to be a really nice day.
Yeah, the temperature got up to 75, so that was comfortable, but it is overcast and cloudy. We even had a sprinkle or two out in parts of the city, but the rain, which the first rain is out here. The second rain is out there. Both of those are coming in over the weekend. We'll try and figure out what it's going to do to your weekend in just a moment, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Mac, thank you. An earthquake hit Karnes County Wednesday night. The U.S. Geological Survey tells KSAT a 3.2 magnitude earthquake shook Falls City just after 8 p.m. Falls City is 40 miles southeast of downtown San Antonio. No damage or injuries are reported. Last September, 4 earthquakes hit Karnes County over the course of a week. The 23-year-old Palestinian American stabbed after a rally in Austin is speaking out. He says his injuries are impacting his ability to care for his 5-month-old son. The Austin Police Department is calling the stabbing incident a hate crime.
The stabbing of a 23-year-old Palestinian American meets the definition of a hate crime, according to the Austin Police Department. Zachariah Doer agrees this crime against him was motivated by hate.
I was the only one there that had a Palestine flag and a keffiyeh hanging out the window. He came specifically to my door and dragged me from the vehicle.
The stabbing happened on Sunday following a pro-Palestinian rally in Austin, when Doer says the suspect, Bert James Baker, approached his car.
Then I looked around. I didn't see anything. And then my door was opened by a crazy guy, and he dragged me from my truck.
Doer was stabbed on the left side of his back and has a broken rib. He now worries about caring for his 5-month-old son.
That's one of my greatest joys, coming home to my son, and that was taken away from me. I haven't been able to pick up my son, be there for my son, do anything for him for the past couple of days.
Doer believes U.S. politicians, including Texas Governor Greg Abbott and President Joe Biden, should call for a ceasefire.
If those two people would have stepped up and said something to stand for us, said something to defend us, this would have never happened. But because they haven't said nothing for us, this is the cause. I'm not the first. I'm not the second. I'm not even the third. How many more have to go on for them to realize that this is wrong?
He says this attack will not stop him from advocating for the people of Gaza.
I just really wish that people would realize that when we go out there and we protest, it's not to cause a problem, it's to end a problem. And that's the problem in Gaza. Something like this it's not going to stop me from standing up for my people.
A Houston attorney will spend 180 days in jail after pleading guilty to injury to a child and assault of a pregnant person. Those charges were downgraded as part of a plea deal. Prosecutors say Mason Herring secretly drugged his wife's drinks several times while she was pregnant to induce an abortion. Along with jail time, the 39-year-old will have 10 years of probation. He's also expected to lose his law license. But Herring's soon-to-be ex-wife says the sentence is not enough.
I do not believe that 180 days is justice for attempting to kill your child 7 separate times.
The drugs did not cause the baby to die, but the baby, Josephine, was born 10 weeks premature and weighed 3 pounds. Herring was the first person in Harris County to be charged with felony assault to induce abortion. The charge was withdrawn as part of the plea deal. A federal grand jury indicted an Austin man yesterday for filing false tax returns. Frank Algren is charged with not reporting the sale of $4 million worth of Bitcoin. The charges are connected with his tax returns from 2017 through 2019. Come to CrossroadsToday.com to predict the big game. Answer a series of questions on how you think the game will go. 3 lucky players will win a $50 gift card to our great friends at Dick's Food Store. The deadline to participate in the big game prediction is Saturday, February 10th. This is Saturday at 5 p.m. We will announce the winners on sunrise Tuesday morning, and the winners will receive either a call or an email. Good luck, everybody. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell so you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. Stay with us. An Oklahoma State representative backs a bill that would ban some agencies from showing support for LGBTQ people. That's coming up on 25 News Now at 6. Also ahead, the Colorado Supreme Court holds oral arguments on whether it's the U.S. Supreme Court holds oral arguments on whether Donald Trump can appear on the state's ballot. Court's oral arguments in the case to keep him off the Colorado ballot. Former President Trump spoke to reporters about his argument that presidents should be immune from prosecution. The Supreme Court heard arguments from Trump's attorney this morning, arguing Trump should be reinstated on the Colorado ballot and that the 14th Amendment clause barring insurrectionists from holding office does not apply to Trump, mainly because he has not been accused of insurrection. While Trump's claim to presidential immunity is not a core issue in this case, it will likely work its way to the Supreme Court sometime before the November election.
There is nothing more important to a presidency than immunity, because they have to be free to make decisions without saying, oh, if I do this or if I do that, as soon as I get out of office, we're going to be indicted, we're going to have trouble. And the other party will do that. I think we've seen that. They do that. There's some very bad people.
Trump's immunity claim in his federal election interference case was rejected by a federal appeals court on Tuesday. He has until Monday to appeal before the lower court can act again. A Republican state representative from Oklahoma is behind a bill that would ban state-funded agencies from showing support for LGBTQ. The author of the bill, Kevin West, says it makes sure everyone is subject to the same rules. Critics say it targets an already vulnerable population.
This is putting everything on the same level field.
That is a threat to our First Amendment free expression. I urge you all to vote no on this bill.
Debate Wednesday morning over a bill that looks to bar state agencies from showing support for LGBTQ. State Rep Kevin West is the author of House Bill 3217.
It is a divisive
message. Not all Oklahomans unify around that.
West could not offer any specific examples of state agencies who shared public messages of support for LGBTQ groups, or instances where a pride flag was flown on state property. He says the bill is preventative.
I just want to get that on a level playing field. You know, like I said, if you put something out there that's religious in nature, it would almost guarantee a lawsuit.
LGBTQ advocates like Freedom Oklahoma see the bill differently.
We've created a system in which state agencies and schools can't adequately serve to us LGBTQ plus folks. And I think that threatens not only federal funding, but also just the safety and well-being of folks in our state.
State Rep John Waldron, who opposed the bill, argued if this bill bans pride flags, why not go after Confederate flags, something West said he was open to. Do you have a concern, though, that might equate the pride flag to the Confederate flag, put it in the same group?
Yeah, that's a fair question. But I think what we're going to do is if we're going to pick winners and losers, then we ought to have a broader discussion. If someone thinks the pride flag is divisive, which I disagree, then let's talk about something that's really divisive, like the Confederate flag.
A revolutionary new satellite launched from Cape Canaveral in Florida early Thursday morning. The NASA PACE will gather data from Earth's oceans and atmosphere and provide an unprecedented look at our planet's microscopic marine life and tiny atmospheric particles. Its 3-year mission will shed light on how aerosols and clouds serve as indicators for ocean health and global warming. You may remember last week, Coast Guard officers at the Port of Houston found a dog inside a shipping container. The dog, named Connie, had been trapped in the container for over a week with no food or water. This week, Connie was sent to Virginia to find her forever home. After a visit to the vet there, Connie is expecting puppies. The vet will nurse Connie through her pregnancy and then will start heartworm treatments.
Connie's got such a great face. She's going to be in the movies pretty soon. I mean, she's gorgeous. Anyway, folks, lots of cloud cover over the area today. Not much sun, and still we got up to 75 degrees. Right about now, we're at 70. Winds at 13, but we had them gusting up to about 30 this afternoon, and a rather breezy couple of days coming up. 76 was officially our high. Of course, that compares to 68. It's still February, folks. This warm and windy stuff will go all the way through the weekend until the cooler weather arrives with that front. We'll talk about that and your weekend coming up in a moment. Well, good evening, everyone. Lots of cloud cover. We're getting it from two places. First of all, this is actually, remember the Pineapple Express, all that, the atmospheric river? Well, this is it, but obviously it's not quite as active as it was when it was over the west coast. That is actually the cloud deck streaming on top of us. Not only that, but we're getting the Gulf air, bringing in the Gulf moisture, and therefore the whole stack of the atmosphere is getting rather humid. Already out in far west Texas and northern Mexico, we're seeing a little bit of light rain. This will move toward us probably on Friday night and into Saturday. And then we've got another thing to deal with right about here. This was the kind of a secondary low that developed out over the southwest. This is actually going to push all of this through the area. So the original front, the one that's getting close to us, is already stalled out. So we're waiting for that secondary push to make it go through. Tonight, 64 again, not exactly cold. but you know, cool, comfortable, nice. And then tomorrow again into the mid upper 70s. Can you believe it? These temperatures are good 10 degrees above where we're supposed to be. Let's do a future tracker and see where the clouds and the rain show up over the next 72 hours. Now you see quite a bit of cloud cover over us. Still, we got that south wind. A few sprinkles are possible, although I wouldn't call it, you know, a substantial rain. And then by the time we get to Friday, we're still in the overcast, but we start seeing this stuff develop a little bit more out west. Then we go into Saturday, and all of a sudden, there it is. Now, we've got showers with that Gulf moisture, okay? Not a huge thing. This one's a little bit heavier, but I do believe it'll stay pretty much north of our area. And that's Saturday night into Sunday. And then Sunday, the secondary low finally pushes through. Now, if you were in Amarillo, if you've got family up there, they're going to be getting a little snow. Both mainly, though, shower activity down to Lubbock. And then, of course, a little bit heavier stuff up in Dallas. But by Sunday, this whole thing blows out of here, and then it clears up as we get into the early part of next week. When is it going to get cooler is another question. We'll have that coming up in a moment. Here is Future Tracker through the weekend all the way to Sunday, and you can see in the dark green that's about a ½ an inch of rain. So not a big substantial thunderstorm kind of thing like we had last weekend, but at least clouds and a little bit of dampness. But you're not going to need much of a coat. It'll be in the mid 70s. So here's front number 1. That's the one that's going to trigger the activity Friday. Here's storm, secondary storm coming in, and you'll notice out front is stalled over the area, giving us that rain through Saturday and Sunday, and then Sunday night it blows out of here and moves away, and high pressure builds in behind it. So that's not until about Monday. So on the cloudy, damp side, right on through the weekend, with the addition of a little bit of light rain. So tomorrow, mostly cloudy in Port Lavaca, getting up to about 75 as a high temperature. So on the overcast side in Cuero, also getting up to about 75. So no winter coats needed right now. Take a look at your extended outlook. We've got that 20% on Friday, that's tomorrow, and then a 40% on Saturday, especially Saturday night. And then Sunday morning is the best chance really, and then it starts to clear up. By Sunday night, we'll start feeling that northwest wind, and then next week, we'll only be in the chilly 60s as high temperatures. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads Today on your phone. Here's Don.
Mag, thank you. And Zach Brown's here with your sports, and he's got some more big news about the area high schools.
Absolutely. It's always a good day when you go to college, and one of them from Goliad has found a new home. I'll have that in sports. One of the hotter stories for high school sports of late, that of course being UIL realignment. And we know now Victoria West was dealt somewhat of an unfair hand being placed in a district that requires extensive travel, but they have decided to appeal. I was able to catch up with head coach Courtney Boyce on not only the importance of the East versus West games continuance, even though they're in different districts now, but also what he calls an unexpected district placement.
That game has been exciting every year. You know, this will be the first time it's not a district ball game, but I still expect the same hype for the game. You know, we look forward to it. It's a great challenge, and I think it makes us better. This year's realignment was unexpected. Just first thing that jumped out at me was the amount of distance, you know, traveling for, you know, the teams, the fans, and things of that sort. So it was unexpected for sure. The Corpus schools, they are closer. I mean, it's been 30 plus years that Victoria and Corpus have been in the same football district. And, you know, so I guess it's what was a little bit unexpected. But again, you know, Victoria West football, we're here to get ready, go hard, go fast, and get after it.
We should know the result of that appeal around February 20th. In Cuero, the girls basketball team has had quite the come up, winning a district title for the first time in about 5 years and undefeated. And they've known for a few games now that they were the district champs. But the last game of the year, head coach Amy Crane's 200th career victory.
It all happened on, our last district game and the 200th win. So it was pretty special.
You didn't even know they were going to celebrate her, and side note, all 200 of those wins on the Cuero Gobbler sideline. She's been there 11 years. We had another commit this time. It's a Goliad Tiger going to play football, and that is Marcus Cisneros. He signed to play at Southwestern Assemblies of God University. He was a defensive back for the Goliad Tigers, a team that just won a district title after having not won a game just a few years prior. The program has grown a lot. And that's because of seniors like this, and he's excited to see his goals come to fruition and is thankful for the Tiger program.
Big dream ever since I started playing football when I was little, and just to sign right now, it means the absolute world to me. Like, I'm real grateful for my family, God, everyone that's blessed me with this opportunity to get to where I'm at right now. They've meant everything to me. They've been my home for the last, however long I've been going to school here in Goliad. It's just been a home, a family. I could always come here and call it home.
He also loved the campus and community outreach over at SAGU. Congrats to Marcus Cisneros on his commitment. Also, tomorrow is a Hoops Friday. Lots of area teams competing for district titles, playoff seeding, and the Victoria East boys have a seeding game coming up. That is for third place. And the Edna and Hallettsville ladies both tied for first place. They will face off tomorrow in Altair, Texas. That's Rice Consolidated with a district title on the line. The Edna boys needing just one more win in their last 2 games to win a district title, and Goliad has found themselves in a 3-way tie. What a tiebreaker they have going on over there. So we've got a lot of area teams competing for a district title. Don, back to you.
Zach, I guess these are the playoffs before the playoffs.
I guess so. It's a way to get battle tested very early on. There's no pressure involved in the playoffs. I don't want to say no pressure, but it helps whenever you deal with it before the games actually begin, I guess.
Absolutely. All right, Zach, thank you. We're back in a moment. Fried pork chops, carnival rides, and a livestock tour. For the next 12 days, the Florida State Fair is open for business. Finally tonight, you can enjoy a fried pork chop, riding carnival rides, and walking a livestock tour for the next 12 days. The Florida State Fair opened this morning in Tampa. It's the 120th anniversary of the annual event. The Florida State Fair will feature all the classics, including funnel cakes, fried Oreos, and Korean corn dogs. Okay. As well as new twists like bacon, caramel, peanut butter, apple fries.
What?
Whew, and a Barbie-inspired funnel cake. All right, you've sold me. That's the place to be to get all that stuff.
A Barbie-influenced funnel cake. I can't imagine. I just can't imagine.
That's what they say. Ken was not available for comment, but we are going to comment from you about the weather tonight.
You betcha. We got a comment. Well, the overcast will continue for the next couple of days, and the mild weather, look at that, 75, 75, 75 through Sunday. It's not till Monday that the north wind kicks in and cools us down, but the chance for rain will be on and off. Fairly, I don't expect any severe weather, and this will be Saturday night into Sunday morning. Con?
Thank you, Mac, and thanks for joining us. Hey, we'll see you tonight for 25 News Now at 10. Have a good one, everybody.